Hi everyone, this is Wilmar Calagos again, and today we will be going through step 1 and the first module in step 1, foundation. And that module is the foundation examination worksheet. And if you haven't already downloaded the PDF, here's what it looks like. And once you open it up, it opens up to this. So a couple of things I want to go over before we even begin is that this PDF is an interactive PDF, meaning you can resave it to a different name. And I've already named it Systemize the Business, but you can name it whatever company, whatever business that you want to start, and whatever the name is. And you can actually go ahead and save it. And then you'll see right here that it saved it. And then the other thing I want to show you is that this is an interactive PDF, meaning you can fill in each of the questions and the modules, and you can actually save them and go back to them. So I made this really, one, easy, and then two, a real practical tool for you to go over. And so if you haven't downloaded it yet, go ahead and download it now and pause this video. And so module 1 is, pretty important, because what we're going to do right now is, pretty much go through exactly what you have in place currently. What systems are you running? What processes are you running? I mean, you're running systems, you're running processes, and sometimes they're just not documented. Maybe they are running well enough to where your business is today, but those things need to be documented. We need to figure out exactly what systems you have, write them down. Is there a particular process or step-by-step process that we execute these systems? And then the third is it documented? Is really what we're going to go through here. And what this does is that it gives you a big picture look at your business. And if you haven't done that in a while, this is going to be a great opportunity to figure out what gaps you need to fill, what systems that need to be improved, and what systems are completely missing that you need today to create clarity and also organization in your business. So here's what we're going to cover today. Why the need to analyze how you run your business and how it's running today as a business owner. New entrepreneurs are definitely going to get a clue of what you need to think about moving forward. And if you're a new entrepreneur and brand new entrepreneur, you will still need to do this process and really come from a place of, what do I really need to run my business? What staff am I going to need? You're going to go through the questions again, and if you don't have any clue, if you do or not, then you can just, write that down. At least those things you have to figure out eventually. And this will actually allow you to begin to see the big picture, but also to learn that there's some things that you're going to need to learn on your own, and really figure out how to launch a successful business. So for my company, I did about a year and a half of research before actually launching my business. I read over 35 books in just anything and everything in business, marketing, sales, copywriting, building websites, social media, YouTube, all kinds of things, just to get a big picture of all of the great authors and business people. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I did a lot of research. And so if you are a new entrepreneur and know that you can bring value to the marketplace, but you don't know where to begin, this will actually be good exercise for you to do. So definitely don't skip it just because it doesn't pertain to you, but work through it and then also study as well with other sources, and maybe it'll help you figure out how to answer some of these questions as you go through. We'll walk through all the questions together and give you some inside things that I've done or what I thought through as I went through this process, and then key point to think about in the big picture moving forward. So let's go to the SDB Implementer 7-Step Process Handbook Guide and just dig in deeper. All right. So as you can see, SDB Implementer is Systemize the Business 7-Step implementation module for our customers. We take our customers who are business owners that have real desire to build business and processes in their business. They want to run a system-based business that is that's not solely reliant on them. After going through the 7-step process, business owners will have a clear, predictable, and measurable way of running each part of their business. This is what we call the blueprint, or your way of doing business. We take our customers through a 6 to 12 week process, setting up their core systems, their core processes. Below are the 7 steps highlighting what we cover and implement through each step of the process. If you are ready to build systems, figure out your processes and document them. And you can use that link to apply for a free 30-minute systemization strategy session with me, and we can work through figuring out what those systems are. And so on the right side, you'll see again step 1, which is 10 modules. This is going to be the biggest step. And once you figure this out, I'm telling you, you'll have such clarity in your current business or this new business that you're going to launch, that steps 2, 3, 4, 5 really are going to be simple steps, but obviously not easy because we have to integrate and basically configure all the systems together and integrate them together. But the step 1 is going to be the biggest part, and this is where you're going to figure out your identity of who you are, what you are, and what you want to do and how you want to add value to other people. And then we get to step 5, 6, and 7, which is pretty much getting everybody on the same page. So we're going to go over the foundation examination worksheet right now. So step 1, foundation examination worksheet. In this module, we will take the big picture of your business if you are already running one. If you don't, this will help you discover missing pieces you will need to develop and think about in your business. Reflect back to this survey as you progress to completing the other modules. And so step 1, the question is, make a list of departments you currently have in your business. And so if you already have a business, you can say, I have a sales department, I have a marketing department, you may have accounting setup, and then let's just say HR. And then step 2, make a list of the staff members that you and their positions. Okay, so maybe we have sales, and we have Mark and Steven, marketing, Dave and Paul, HR, say me, and then we have, what did we say? We had accounting, and if you're a startup, maybe it's just you that does it. And then make a list of systems that you are currently running in your business. And so, this question might be a little tough because you probably don't think of your staff executing systems. So this, you may need to leave this blank because you don't have any systems that you are currently running, or have really set a standard of, okay, this is how we're gonna do things in this particular thing. And so you may not have any systems that are running in your business. Although you are running systems and you're doing the day-to-day work, but you don't have anything documented, you don't have a particular process. One good example, is that we set up my wife's, business. She's an esthetician. And so she, something that I, went over with her is that, what system is she gonna run when a customer walks into her studio? So she's an esthetician. She does lashes, she does waxing, she does facials. And so, I was really challenging her to put a system together so that the experience of the customer will be very similar. So every time they come in, there's this expectancy of how they're going to be treated. And so when somebody comes into her studio, what is she gonna offer them? Offer them a seat? Is she going to offer them tea or coffee? Is the front receptionist going to offer those things? Who's going to approach the customers that come in? And what are they going to say? So, all these things, are processes and systems that you need to put together. So if you don't have anything like that, so this may be none, because you don't really have any systems in place that you really plan through exactly how that's going to be executed. Either you do it or someone else does it in your business. And just to go back for the new entrepreneurs that are watching this video right now, definitely do these steps. And for step 2 is really just to create, okay, what team do I need right now as far as starting my business? And maybe it's you need a web designer guy, or you need a guy that's going to help you develop your product, or anything and everything you think you need to start your company. Go ahead and list it here. And also for the systems. Step 4, make a list of processes you have in your business that you have been documented or have written procedures. And so since we said none on the other one, then we'll say none on this as well. So this may differ for your company. You may be very organized. and you may have a system that you put in place. You have documentation. I know that some people feel like they don't need documentation, or they don't need like a SOP because nobody reads them. There's all these things in the market. But again, if you want to scale your business, if you want to grow your business, if you want onboarding a new trainee or a new hire, if you want that to go smoother, then you're going to need a system and documentation how that's going to be properly done. And then step 5, make a list of programs or software you currently run any part of your business. And I've seen this I do strategy calls all the time, and usually 50% of the time they do mail, so it's probably just Google. People do like Facebook, and then like social media. Rarely I'll get somebody that actually like uses a CRM. A lot of times it's kind of like QuickBooks with just accounting. So definitely, write, whichever software that you currently use right now, and then indicate on here if you actually want to keep it, or you're not happy and want to use something else. And so that is also something that you can indicate on there. And then the next step is, do you feel you have a strong system-based foundation in place to run your business? And I'm telling you, 80% of people will say no, I don't have any systems in place. And that's very common. So if that's you, definitely don't feel bad. You're watching this video because you want to improve those things. But I've done strategy sessions with people that have had their business for about 20 years, and they don't have systems in place. I mean, they don't even have like a CRM where they have all their contacts. It's pretty much like it's like in their email or on their phone. And so nothing's centralized whatsoever after 20 years, which is very like surprising, being in business for that long. But nevertheless, answer this question as honestly as possible, and I want you to put as much details as possible to these questions, only because I will be looking at them. And so when we have our strategy sessions together, I can, the more information that you give us, and so we can strategize ahead of time, because what happens is you're going to be turning this in before we meet for the strategy session, so we can get as much done as possible and be most productive, most effective of our time, is to give me as much details as possible on these questions. What do you feel the business is missing and lacking today? And I get this a lot, everything. And so just give me a list and or explanation what that looks like, and be very, very specific in what that could be, because ultimately is that I'm there as a critical thinker. I'm there to analyze and understand where you want to go with your business, where you're currently at. But at the end of the day, I'm a consultant and an implementer. So what that means is that I will give you my suggestion and my recommendation. And so depending on how you are as a business owner, then you could either take my advice or not take my advice. Either way, to me, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you will be the one, and your staff will be the one to execute your systems and processes. And my job is really to figure out a way how to do it the best way, the most economical way to do it and to execute it for your business. And so as a consultant, I will give you my particular take on it. But more than anything, Systemize the Business is really an implementer to implement the systems that you believe you need for your business. Because at the end of the day, the success of your business is upon your hands. And my job and our job as a company is to add value and to give you the tools that you need, and then to be able to help you set up and implement the system so that you can succeed and scale your business the way you pictured it. And then we have, are there any missing parts, components, or tools in your business that need to be implemented? I find most people don't have a CRM and also social media. Management. Let's just put those two things. And so that is pretty much all the questions for the first module for Foundation Examination Worksheet. And so work through those questions, answer them in the most detailed as possible, and then when you're done, you can go ahead and save, and it will save everything that you've entered. And you can always go back to it. And so the last thing I want to say with this module is that to not be discouraged if you go through this process and realize, man, I haven't been doing anything correctly, or I haven't had any systems or processes. This time, this is really for you to analyze, to get some be able to put some feedback based on what you analyzed, and this will really help me when we do a systemization strategy sessions together. So go ahead and fill this out and be as honest and transparent as you can. And so this is the last thing, just to remind you the 4 things that matter when you systemize the business. And I will keep repeating this because systemization is not something that's in the forefront of most entrepreneurs and business owners. It's not, to me, it's not, a focus of theirs. So I want to keep just iterating these 4 things: systems, processes, documentation, execution. Aside from closing sales, you will be tempted to do other things. When it comes to systemization, your brain power has to be focused on these 4 parts: implementing systems you need today, figuring out its processes, documenting them, and then executing them. All right, that's it for this module. I will see you on the next one right now.